Hey everybody, this is the Cryptolorian from the Well community, and welcome to another Artix Breezy Gallery Go Live. We have this time around we're going to do artist Hackatao, so one of the coolest vault artists we have, and I am here together with Eleanor Breezy from Breezy, and we have Rune, and we have Cartoon Advisory. Hey everybody, how are you doing today?
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Excited.
All right. How you doing? How you feeling? Everyone's feeling pretty good, I guess. And we're very, very excited to go live with this gallery. So, Eleonora, tell us a little bit about Hackatao. I know you know a little bit about him.
This year you have this new speaking avatar, which is distracting me. You're even moving your mouth. That's cool.
Yeah. The only thing that this avatar does not do is it doesn't move your head when you move your head to the side. So it just looks like I'm, moving a little bit, but it catches my mouth good.
Yeah, that's still pretty cool though. But yes, anyways, let's talk about Hackatao. I'm pretty sure that many of you know about them, but it's never enough. So we organize, of course, they are our picked artists for the month of January for Breezy Curates Whale. And we, as usual, we organize and created and this exhibition and display on Arium Gallery, which is getting better and better. This time we have 3D models of Hackatao's podmarks. And it's very interesting and fun for me to see every time that we do another show, then we discover something that we don't want to leave ever again. So Rune this time said that from now on we should get 3D models from all the artists, and then DC said that we should get POA from all the artists, and Cartoon is like, okay, videos for everyone. So the more we do this, the more we understand some kind of formulas that we don't want to abandon anymore, which is very, very fun. But yes, we introduced the 3D models this time. And of course, all the pieces displayed are in the vault collection by Well, and it's 15 pieces. Yes, it's a very representative. The 15 pieces that are in the vault are very representative of Hackatao's body of work. It covers a pretty extended time and different moments of their career, and of course, very recognizable style always. But it really shows the evolution of their work, and you should just go there and enjoy. And then we also, for this time, we also, as you know, we always try to have an interview with our artists, which probably we shouldn't even call it like that anymore because each time is different. We started with X copy and like asking questions through an email and answering through artworks, and then we had Giant Swan talking for hours on Arium. And then today we have Hackatao, which we all know that don't really like to talk, but they did what they do at best. And I'm so excited about that because you will see a narration of their, it's not a bio, it's a story of them that I wrote for them. And it will be paired with something very special. Basically, like the story will be translated in drawings, just made for this event and for you guys to enjoy in the form of a gift, which now everyone calls POAP.
That's so awesome, Eleonora. I love listening you talk about the artworks and the galleries, and yeah, in our quest to make these events possible, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scene, and Ruin, tell us a little bit about what you do, because you're one of the ones who has put a lot of work into the gallery version of it. And I'm gonna just pop it up on the screen while you tell us a little bit about how you put this together, and then we'll talk to Cartoon real quick, and we could talk about the different videos and stuff that we put together for these events.
Yeah. So just as Eleonora said, we are finding a lot of things out as we're building. So a lot of the stuff that you see has just been a lot of tinkering throughout the days. These models are absolutely amazing. And when I first get them, they're like really, really tiny. And I'm like, no, these are huge. So I kind of wanted to make a few of them look like they're like statues as you enter into the space. And along with the models, we're learning like all kinds of stuff with like curving certain pieces of art to make them stand out better. We've got the videos in, the KVs are still going out like normal. It's I have to say for all of the different ones that we've built so far, I've had a lot of fun with this one. Um, I'm a huge fan of Hackatao's work, and being able to place these pieces again in just the right spot, just so that they can show off exactly, um, the emotion, the feeling that is supposed to be represented by the creations. It is just a lot of fun, and Hackatao definitely helped out a lot in some of these placements. Like there's one of the orange 3D models toward the back, and at first I had it in one place, but Hackatao was like, "Why don't you try putting it on the ramp out there? It looks like it's peeking around the corner." I'm like, "Yeah." So now it gives it a little bit more of a little bit more entertainment value, because it just looks like it's just peeking out, like he's just I don't know. It's just fun, and having kids, it just reminds me of a little kid that's just being shy and like, here I am. But yeah, no, it's been wonderful, and I I have to say this is the fourth one I've made, and they just keep getting better and better, so much so that I want to go back to the previous ones and make them even better. So yeah.
Man, that's awesome, Room. Thanks for sharing your experience. Yeah, you and Cartoon have been, and the entire team has been doing these and making them look really nice. And also, I love that the artists have, in Hackatao have actually been very cool about helping us with the placements and everything, because it really makes the experience. The virtual experience really cool. So
Yeah.
before I go back to Eleonora, Cartoon, tell us a little bit about your experience of making these galleries and also making these really cool videos that we see, for the event.
For sure, man. Kind of going off of what Rune was saying, it's always really fun just getting the opportunity to work so closely with so many amazing artists. Having them be a part of the creation process, it makes it a lot more fun for us, but it also kind of gives the project as a whole that much more. It just makes it that much more special. It's not just you know what I mean. It's not just like a team of people kind of separately from what we're doing, working on stuff. We're actually like intertwined with all these people, and we get input from them, and we get ideas from them, and we're able to implement things that they would like seen as well, which I think is really important. But I mean, Arium is it's just such an amazing tool for one creators, and then for the people that come and visit the spaces too. Just because it's such an immersive experience, which is what we have been trying to focus in with Rune. It's a lot of what we've been talking about the past couple months is how can we make each space more special, more immersive. How can we get more people to just go beyond just looking at their screen, looking at another screen, essentially. And I think this gallery in particular let us really explore that idea. Once we were talking about Hackatao at first, I know that the talk of having their models up in the gallery was kind of like an initial idea. So I'm really happy to just see it all kind of come together, and them being received so well. I kind of saw them going really well, but Brune definitely blew my expectations with this man. Like, he's been killing it with all the galleries, with all the placements. I love that he touched on the like getting the opportunity to have like different services as well. Like I saw that there's the big curved screens for some of the taller uh, projects in there as well, which I think makes it a little bit more, a little bit cooler than just like a flat rectangle. You know what I mean? I think that's a cool little addition to the gallery. And yeah, man, it's just always super fun getting to put all of these together and getting to start fresh every month pretty much and just see the gallery transform into something new.
I do have to say, DC, before you go back to Eleonora, touching on exactly what everyone's been saying here, the team has been awesome. And the fact that every single time the artists are getting more and more involved, the part of the process is not only making the space, work for our own eyes, it's making the space acceptable for Eleonora to make sure that it's, definitely representative of what she has envisioned, but also at the same time, Hackatao in this case, or the artist in general. Hackatao has input, and that's great because that way, and the fact that Arium allows you to quickly change things up, it makes it so much easier to work this way. I mean, the Arium crew has helped us out so much and has been a big part of making sure that these spaces are as top notch as can be. And Haikitao's jumping, but I just want to stress that every single one of us have a piece in this. No matter whoever's doing the actual physical work or whatever, we all are chipping in, getting things for each other. So it makes it smooth and it's a great experience. And I really hope and expect going forward that other artists will be doing the same thing and having their say in how certain things look.
100%, dude. And like, I mean, it's super fun just getting to, get crazy ideas. Like, oh, dude, wouldn't it be cool if, we could have 50-foot morgues, what I mean, the pod morgues inside the gallery, and like being able to implement that, as silly as it sounds, like look at how cool all this stuff looks, man. Like that's just, another way for, fans of Hackatao and fans of the space and just fans of art in general to come in and experience art in a different way. It's super, super, super cool, man.
Absolutely. And thank you both for that. That was fantastic. And just a quick shout out to Justin behind the scenes, who has also been helping us a lot with
Yes.
with a lot of the different things going on. But and he's managing the POAPs, which we'll be talking about soon. Yeah, Eleonora, this is a great segue for a question I had for you, because you've been going to a lot of different spaces as far as it goes. You've been to NFT Paris recently. You were in NFT Miami, and then New York, and you've seen a lot of in-person galleries. And something that we've talked about before is how cool these online galleries are. NFT galleries are versus like the physical galleries. Yeah, share with us a little bit about your experience, because I find it such an interesting topic.
Yes, I wanted to say this before you asked me, that the more that I look at this gallery, the more that I look at our galleries on Airbnb, and the more that I go around and see physical galleries, the more that I think that our gallery is the coolest one. No, it's I mean, look, it's as we always say, it's a very different experience. The problem here now is that we are at the level number 2 of the NFT space. I mean, for many people, even 3 or 4, but let's take it from the last year. So, when something like a phenomenon or something new arrives to the masses, so you have the mass adoption, it's the time where everyone has to learn about it. And so there's a lot of like, basic education to get the concept out there. So it was very good last year. It was good to, as a first step, to actually step into the art world, to show this art on screens and everything. I was the first one, always wanted to bridge the two worlds. That's what I have been doing since forever. But now we should really remember that we are at level 2. So I feel that, and I am a big fan of, like physical shows as well, because I don't think that the two can substitute each other. It's two completely different things. And thank God that we have both. The problem was when we didn't have both. We were when we were either too physical or too digital during pandemic. But as long as we have the choice and the two possibilities, I think that it's very good. But this is really like suggestion. I mean, I don't have a solution, but I think that we should all come together and try to find new solutions for the physical galleries and physical art shows, to give justice to what digital art, NFTs, and crypto art is, because screens do not give justice. And in this precise moment, if I have to pick one, I prefer our shows at the end of the month in the Arium Gallery, where we are here inside looking at the pieces from so close and talking about them all together. I mean, we're still looking at a screen eventually, but then we have the, there's so many things that you can do on a virtual art gallery. Like, for instance, I don't know, like the pod marks sculptures that they were talking about, or the fact that we created digital representation of story, or I don't know, the fact that we can put it on a channel and talk about it all together. So again, I've been to many places. Yes, Miami, New York. Now I was in Paris, and I'll go to Lisbon. I'm going to eat Denver in a couple of weeks, and I think that it is time for us, and it's our responsibility, especially for those who come from the art world, to find new ways of showcasing digital and crypto art. But as for us and the virtual show, you all know that I'm a big fan of Arium, because it is very friendly for me. And it was always very easy for me to take people from the art world to come in and like have a tour. As I always say, like, I even have calls inside Arium. I take people around to see the space while we talk. It was very easy to take journalists inside Arium. Like, I proposed to be interviewed inside Arium. And what we are doing here, I think that it's an experience that will become more and more needed. Probably, I mean, I already kind of need this show at the end of the month. And I keep telling everyone, oh, no, like, I cannot go out. Like, on Saturday afternoon, I have an art exhibition. And they're like, oh, do you have it in Rome? I'm like, no, I'm having on the metaverse. What are you even asking?
I know it definitely feels it feels good. It feels right. It feels like because we all are on our devices so much these days, and honestly, it's to the point where we're getting immersed in these type of things, and almost the physical world feels a little boring at times.
Yeah, it does, because we still didn't find a way. Look, it's like eventually it will always be a little bit better, even for the fruition of digital art. The virtual space will always be a little bit better. Why? Because it's native. It's like when we wanted to put online, I don't know, wooden sculptures. It is better if you see live wooden sculptures.
Right,
So,
right.
right. I mean, native, its native place is here, but still we can really find a way to translate the spirit of it. When I studied language, like foreign languages, they were teaching us that there are two kinds of like translations when you want to translate from language 1 to language 2. The first one is like literal literary translation. So you translate each word from language 1 to language 2, because you want to be like, you want to maintain, you don't want to change anything. You want to translate exactly what the poet or the author or the writer wrote in language number 1. But then in more modern times, another theory of translation came to light, and it's the theory number 2, which is that you want to translate the feeling that the readers get in language 1, you want to translate it in language 2. And in order to translate that feeling, you have to change the words. You cannot use the same words. Maybe you even have to change the story. But your point is that you want to translate exactly what people who speak and understand the first language get when they read that piece of poetry or literature or anything. So I am a big fan of the second one. And I think that it is possible, but we really need to understand how to do that. So to translate the spirit of crypto art and the spirit and the same emotions and feelings that we get when we enjoy and we have the fruition of digital art in a virtual space, we have to find the means to translate the same spirit in the physical art space. And I think that probably the wrongest thing to do is to do it on a screen, because it's what we do here, only it doesn't work in real life. It doesn't translate the same.
Absolutely, and I do agree with you 100%. It's better to see what the native. It feels better what the native tone this is for NFTs and digital art, and it just feels better in this space for sure. I did have a question. So the thoughtfulness that goes into these type of events is something that you were talking about just a second ago. But tell us a little bit about how this was set up with the artwork, because that's always really interesting to me. And I'll just kind of scroll around and move around, and we could look at each piece.
Yes. Well, first of all, a good thing, I mean, it's not a good thing. Another good thing about Hackatao's art pieces is that Hackatao, they've always pushed, the role of curators in the space. They're one of the first artists who always ask for texts and for words and, for the pieces to come with content. So really you will find pretty deep content around the pieces just if you go to check them. These pieces were created, this is before Eleonora, so I didn't write the text of these pieces. I curated the piece, not this one, the archetype. That's the pieces that I have curated, I think, that is in here for in the wall collection. And of course you can see very evident the dichotomy between love and death and etc. Just read the texts. What I want to talk more about today here, because I also wrote it in my curatorial text on the wall outside. I said that there are many there's so much content about Hackatao's art that you can find and you can enjoy, but today probably we want for the visitors to concentrate, because the show is titled Encounter, because that of Hackatao is the story of an encounter. I mean, like an encounter in real life, and two very different people, very different styles and souls. They have very different personalities if you know them as persons, which is almost fun, and you really see how complementary they get. So you can go around DC. Don't worry. Like I can talk about this, and people can see the pieces. And it is always very fascinating when it's almost like some alchemy happened there, because how can you work in real life, and in art? I mean, it's like it's like two different identities just became one. So when you see, of course, it is manifested to us through art. We're not talking about their private life, but this style, which is so, and I really want for everyone to concentrate on the balance, this style that I think, and I find it interesting because sometimes some people do not know that Hackatao is composed by two people, But still, when you tell them, they're like, I was sure that this is not the hand of one person. So interesting that even looking at the art pieces, you can understand this. And for me, it's very evident, but for many people is. And yet it gets to a perfect balance that is always the same, in the sense that it doesn't change. It evolves. They use different tools. They talk about new topics. They do new projects. They were doing canvases, and now they do avatars. But still, the union, the balance, the style is always very recognizable. So it's almost like. And it's interesting that it also happened in real life, when you create a new identity composed by two, and you cannot live without each other anymore, because this art wouldn't exist without one part. It's like when it's too much connected. You cannot imagine the drawings without everything else, or vice versa. So of course, it's also the story of growing together, because when they met in 2007, actually, I believe they met for the first time in 2005, but then nothing happened. And they re-met after 2 years, but then yeah. But it's like, we are very used to collaborations here in the crypto art space, but this is something, it's very fascinating to see how it grew together. When they met, everyone was already doing their own art, right? So they come with they come with a background, with an experience, with a style, with something. And I mean, they're two separate individuals, and somehow they manage slowly to get to a point where they grow together, and it can only be like that. I hope that the idea that you get today from here, which is probably the story that is less told, and it's also because I know them personally, is the union and the alchemy, like the one identity, which I think is very interesting, especially in the art world, where it's pretty much artists are very individual. Yes, you have collaborations, but no, you don't have many artist duo who stay together forever. You know what I mean? And develop something which can only exist if they are together. For the rest, it's their style is very pop, and the drawings are, you can stay there for weeks to read through the drawings. It's very detailed. Every time you have words, symbols, references to, usually they pick a topic, or they are proposed a topic. There is a long research before doing an art piece, research of stimuli, inspirations, words, actual words to be put inside the artwork, watching videos about the topic, just research, a lot of research that they do before doing an art piece. And then, all this visual, written, and audio, and any stimuli that go through their mind, that it's like the artist is this filter, which is what the role of the artist is here. It's very evident, because it's like, I am the filter, I am the artist. All these stimulus come to me, and then they come through me, and I give it back to the world through my filter. So that's what happens here. It's like, yes, it's all inspirations that they get, but then it pass through the filter, and what they give back to us is art. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Eleonora, you just have a way of speaking about the art and the artist that is like no other, for sure.
Thank you.
I love it. I think this is a good time to actually play the narration, because
Okay.
yeah, you definitely set it up to be exactly the right time. So let me put it up there, and for everyone to listen to. It's fantastic, and I hope you enjoy it.
But Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to yin and yang. Yin and yang give birth to all things. The complete whole is the complete whole. So also is any part the complete whole. Lao Tzu. This is the story of an encounter, a tale about the merger of two very different souls, natures, elements, identities, personalities, and styles, of the yin and the yang, that today goes by the name of Hackatao. When two predestined energies finally come together, space-time no longer matters. But since it is still needed for a pleasant time on Earth to be found for us mortals to process the event, the choice falls on the city of Milan, and it is the year of 2007. The union of the two parts S plus N is initiated, and from then it has been manifested to humans in the form of art. Hackatao's Big Bang is shaped podmarks. These little totemic creatures, sculpted in ceramics and decorated with drawings on acrylic, literally are the signed Hackatao Book of Genesis. Podmarks are their love for beer, their Book of Lancelot, the beginning of experimentation with the alchemy of the two styles, the necessary push for both S and N to completely dedicate themselves to art, the digital element in their physical art with their 3D models, to gamble on each other. And just like that, later came the canvases. As a magical spell, the result of the creative balance and the harmony of these two complementary souls is an artistic style that is very unique and recognizable at first sight. Their specular contributions are so peculiar that, even without knowing, our eyes would easily feel the presence of four hands. The pop figures, filled with colors in a flat style, and the clear lines create a delimiting ideal cage, a container to the black and white detailed flow drawings, otherwise unlimited. Within the interweaving of the drawings are discussed the main issues of society, environment, humanity, and crypto, as well as references to art history, symbolism, and psychology. Gaming, from the sacred to the profane. Incredibly enough, the biggest adventure in Hackatao's artistic path is yet to start, even after moving to the mountains in 2012. In the peace of the woods, the respect of the seasons, and the surrounding brightness of colors, Hackatao showed that it is possible to live immersed in nature, far from the city, along with technology that keeps you engaged in the flow of the world. And the proof will come soon with the watershed that will change their life forever, an art movement that is born amongst the communities of the web, a place where space and time no longer exist, geographically agnostic, where creators can stay anonymous, being judged only for their art, and where these judges are no longer a handful of experts selected by hierarchies. An art movement where transparency, participation, peer-to-peer relationships, and collaboration are sovereign. Decentralized, they say, through the use of the blockchain technology, the pop art of our century, crypto art. Embracing the movement and the idea that the artistic and social potential of the space could be exponential, in 2018 Hackatao are amongst the few who firmly believe in the future power of crypto art, never leaving and never quitting, against all odds. With their first NFT, Girl Next Door, an animated GIF tokenized on Super Rare, they make their entrance with a triumphant "fuck you," dedicated to the rusty part of the traditional art world, as well as to the paralyzed structures and systems that keep slowing down progress and improvement. Their contribution to the space becomes increasingly consistent. They would educate people around them, propose collaborations with other artists and creators, push the boundaries of the use of technology in art, augmented reality, VR, 3D, and pixels, as well as that of the blockchain. They would participate in the discussion between the platforms and the collectors to agree on a 10% royalties for the artists to be received in the secondary market. The creation of their art pieces will start including more and more actors. They will commission music for their animations and ask for different expertise to be part of their artistic projects, as well as push the role of the art curators in the space, almost creating a sustainable model within the model, in a time when the crypto art movement is, yes, thriving, but somehow still inconvenient for the big majority. All this was simply making a lot of sense, especially for that specific inclination towards the means of the digital that they always had within them since the first day that separately started to make art. S would do it back then with his Amiga and the digital re-elaboration of his photos, while Anne would do it with Photoshop, being an Adobe addict. That seed of digital, constantly present but forever embryonic, could finally find a legitimate place in the art world. Their art quickly becomes a cult in the community, until today, when in 2022 crypto art is in the spotlight, and when that innovative spirit that has always characterized them and prevented them from giving up is finally proven right. There came the O, and then came the G. As original gangsters and aware of the fact that this is just the tip of the iceberg of what could be experimented with creativity and blockchain, Hackatao continue to walk their own way, while never stopping looking forward and never looking back, as they always did and forever will do, for the only constant in life is change. Curator's note. One scene that I try to imagine and that will forever stay in my mind, that night in Milan in 2005, when the yin and the yang only touched each other for a second, and the gratitude that I feel for them to have met again. After all, how could it have been possible not to? Don't you see that dazzling light spreading from Anne's yellow belt?
Clap, 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 clap. That was awesome.
Wow. Wow. When we were making this, so that narration just is absolutely fantastic. And every time the end happens, I get a little bit of chills. I don't know why, because it's such an interesting, memory. The dazzling lights from the belt. The way you describe it is just it's just really cool. I don't know.
It's a real story. That's how they fell in love, because Nadia was wearing this yellow belt, and Sergio said that she was spreading energy from this yellow belt.
Oh man, I love it, and those type of stories are something that you just again, it's like this experience that you just don't get, I've been trying to get out, in this world we're living in right now, and look at some galleries and stuff, and you just feel like you're kind of like alone, and I love this experience of hearing a narration, seeing the gallery, putting it all together, this type of experience, because you do feel like you're immersed in the artist and the story and everything. And it's like we were saying before, it's this is really it's really advanced for what's going on in the space. And I think the only way to get better at this is to keep innovating and doing it the way we're doing it, and just make other changes, and it's hard to get better than this, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna try. Oh, I lost her. Wait.
Oh, just trying to get back on.
Hello?
There you
She's
are.
back.
Oh no! DC, I lost you when you say the only way to get better than this, and then you disappeared.
Oh man, it's like the only way to get better is to keep doing it and keep thinking up some amazing things. But yeah, it's like I said at the end, it's really hard to get better, but we're gonna keep going and keep trying.
Yes.
And it's so cool. And one of the things I wanted to mention, and I've been there's a lot of people in the space. I'm so glad that everyone can actually come out and see this and be a part of this. There's a couple things that I'd like to mention. One is I love seeing all the avatars out here, and it's representative of a bunch of projects in the space. And my favorite thing to see in this particular space is actually Hackatao's Queens and Kings project, because the representation, you're kind of seeing art being moved around and used by different people, and it's really cool.
Yes, it's like a community in the community.
That's right. That's right. And such a cool project. And there's an additional drop coming soon. So if you haven't heard of that project, please go check it out. It's really, really cool. I'm a big fan of it, and it was one way for me to get my hands on a Hackatao piece, because the vault certainly has a lot of them, and I wanted to get my hands on one, so I was able to pick up a couple, and I'm really excited about that. And another thing, so to kind of talk about some of the things we're doing, is you can actually go through this portal over here. And Rune, I'll let you explain this a little bit more, since you were putting this together. But our shows are every month.
Yep.
So we do this type of show every month with a different vault artist. And of course, this month is Hackatao. Last month we had, was it Giant Swan last month?
It was the story of a rebirth.
It was the story of rebirth and Giant Swan before that.
The next copy, yep.
Yeah. So if you have missed a show, you could definitely go back into this portal over here, which you see Cartoon going towards right now, and you could go see some of our older shows. So if you want to say a few words, Rune, about the setup, go for it.
So actually, if you could go ahead and just follow through with what I say, then we'll be able to do it. So if you walk through this portal in the back here, this will take you back to our community hub. And the community hub we've designed to take you into our previous galleries. Now, this feature was not here last time. This is brand new, and it'll take a moment for everything to load up. So I will be putting some labels on these, but we've made little planets out of the gallery photos. Now, right now, again, if you know what the galleries look like, then you kind of have an idea. That's Giant Swan right there. That one right there is the story of a rebirth, but the Hackatao one's over to your left. And if you literally just walk through it, just walk right on through it, it'll take you to the space. So there you go. Now you're porting to the Hackatao space, and there you go. So in the future, if anyone wants to come back and revisit a Giant Swan, like I said, I am learning so much. So I plan on, touching up a few things here and there on previous galleries with Eleonora's blessing, of course. But
of course.
it's just a way to visit our older galleries. They're not going away, which is the best part. Whereas before we were afraid that we were going to lose them. Now that's not the case. So yeah.
Yeah, and thanks for. So it's so cool, and the folks at Arium are so awesome. And they're like Arun said before, and Cartoon said before, the support has been just golden. And honestly, we couldn't do this type of stuff without the most amazing team, which is Eleonora, Arun, Cartoon, Justin, and myself, who are currently putting these together, and of course the artists that participate with us. Absolutely fantastic. And with that, let's talk about. So we have a few minutes before we close out the show, but let's talk about that amazing POAP. So we listened to the narration, we watched it being birthed, I guess.
Yes.
Let's talk about how to get that. So if you haven't quite figured it out, you can go to this awesome how-to guide here, and Justin is our man on the street. So he is looking at this channel in the Whale Discord. So you come here, you come to the Arium space, you go look around, check out the art, check out Hackatao, read the stories, take a selfie. The better the selfie,
the nothing.
Just don't come here and take a selfie of the sky, right? Get over there and take a selfie of you, by one of Hackatao's pieces. And you know what? I might even throw in a little bit of a bonus here if you're listening. So if you do have a really cool selfie, I will give you a tip of whale. If I think your selfie is the best. So if you come up with something cool, you're going to get something extra. But you post a selfie in there. You go to the Discord. You go into the channel hashtag or #sign Hackatao selfie channel, and you post it in there. And just make sure that your post is in there, and then you'll get a link to the POAP. Did I say everything right?
I think so. Obviously, we're not doing this with smart contracts or anything. It's very manual.
Yes.
So, you'll have to put the name of your Discord will have to be the same name of your cube. So we can understand that it's you, and then you get your POAP.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But this was specially made for everyone, for this show, for, the theme, the topic, the narration, the story of Hackatao. And it's very, very precious. I just realized that the name Breezy is in it. I didn't realize. I was like, oh my God. It's very, in the drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were putting together the narration video, I saw it in there and I said, that's awesome that Breezy's
so
in there.
Beautiful.
That's so
cool.
Oh man, that's great.
I know, but this is what happens with Hackatao's drawing. You can look at them 10 times. I didn't even see mine because there's so much going on. So I was looking at other things, and then you can go back and look at that again and again. So it's very cool.
It's so cool, and honestly, I love what they're doing. They continue to innovate in the space. They continue to come up with these amazing artworks, and like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Queens and Kings and the ability to hack the piece and kind of make my own. So I can't wait to do that, and it's going to be so cool. But honestly, this is great. I'm so glad everyone turned out for this. Is there any parting words that we want to give folks before we actually close out?
Yeah, I just wanted to add something that I didn't mention before, following what Cartoon and Arun were saying, which is that the more we're doing this, the more, of course, one of the most enjoyable parts is to work with the artists. And again, it is possible because it's virtual. This is why you have Hackatao in Arium, Hackatao in the Discord channel, Hackatao everywhere with us, right? But besides that, it's really, if I did it as a curator and with you guys who are the, say even like the architects, builders, and organizers, and I'm the curator in a physical space, it will probably always be the same format and you host different artists. But here it is possible, it is so customized. And I think that we are getting to the point where it will be very easy for people to understand who is the artist of the month. Even if you take the pieces out, you look at the space, the colors, the feeling, everything that they pick and their participation, and you understand which artist it is. Of course, it is black today. And of course, it was pink when Giants One was here. You know what I mean? And like the feeling that you get when you get into the space, this is just possible because artists can and actively participate in the building of the experience, which is amazing. So it's not like in local, physical, impossible things, but it is so amazing to build something which gives their vision justice. It's really not my vision. I am talking with the artists always, and to give a space where they feel represented. It is very rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Extremely rare. And yeah, I'm having a great time doing this stuff, to be quite honest. And I know I hear from Rune all the time. He messages me and says he loves this, especially with
good.
with the other jobs that we do. This is definitely one of our favorite things to do each month. So I welcome everyone to stay tuned, because obviously we're just starting, and we always have to work a little bit ahead. So we're about to start our next one, to start prepping for this type of stuff. So stay tuned. And I say this every time, but I really do mean it. And I love this idea you had, Eleonora, where people could use this to meet. People could use this to rent out and have an event. So if you are interested in something like that, please reach out to us, because we would love to host you here in the space. And of course, with all these portals, you can choose whichever adventure you'd like to go on, to maybe even take like that museum type of thing. You take people through it, and then go through the art of the artist that you really like. So yeah, it's open to
Yes.
everybody. It's open to everybody.
Yes, the space is here for the community to be used. So if you want to have panels, chats, if you want to talk to a friend, if you want to have a Google Meet instead of having Google Meet, you can do everything in the Arium space, which is the same, only so much better.
Oh, it's way better. And I don't know how these folks figured out how to. Oh, I guess you just hold the space bar.
Yeah.
You could jump higher, but
Well-
at some point, Rune was flying around. I don't even
Well,
know
I
how he.
still am, and that's the reason why I was quiet, because while this is going on, one, we changed the physics to allow some good jumping so people can get up close and personal with some of the taller pieces, and it's a little bit of fun seeing the outside sky through the windows while you're looking at the piece. But anyway, I also just learned how to do fly-throughs, invisible fly-throughs. So with recording, so I've literally been recording this space from like a drone perspective over top everyone, invisible. So yeah.
Oh man, that is so
So
awesome.
there will be some videos.
So many people.
There'll be videos posted showing some nice fly-throughs. So later.
Oh, I can't wait.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't wait. All right. And with that, thank you all for coming. So thank you, Eleonora. Thank you, Rue. Thank you, Cartoon
Thank
Advisory. Thank you, Justin, for being our man on the street. And also everybody who came, especially Hackatao. Thank you for being amazing and doing amazing art and enriching our lives with your story. It is so cool to put something like this together. So I really appreciate it. And yeah, bye everybody. And before we go, we're going to lead out with this amazing video by Cartoon Advisory. So here we go. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.